Alright, forewarning, if this thing dies and there's an awkward cut, that's because the battery is nearly dead. I thought I charged this thing pretty well, but I guess not. So I just got done watching the Bethesda E3 2018 conference. It's about time I finish this, and then I have to do the big three sometime during the weekend. But, we'll see. Let's just get the filler ones done. And as filler goes, Bethesda's conference was alright. I probably would go out and say they're probably the second best conference of E3. I still think Microsoft was better. Just overall, I thought they had a great conference for the most part. There were issues, of course, it wasn't perfect, but it was a solid B. Maybe B plus if I'm being generous. I know I haven't done Microsoft yet, I'll explain why later on. Bethesda, I would probably give a B or a B minus 2. Around the same range as Microsoft. A little bit lower. Like, Microsoft would probably get like a B plus, and Bethesda would probably get a B minus, or a B. Which is a good rating, by the way. That's above average. That means it is good. I am not personally a Bethesda fan. I don't really play many of their games. I hear they are very talented. I do not like how they use the same engine for a lot of their games. Fallout and Skyrim being most of those games. But I do know that they are passionate about gaming for the most part, which does give me a lot more respect for them compared to other developers. EA, Konami. I guess I'll just go through and then I'll talk about some issues I had. The first one is they had a Walmart joke. Where, for those who don't know, Walmart accidentally leaked a lot of games they're having on sale, and because of that, they spoiled a lot of shit that was happening at many E3s, including Fallout 76, which, yes, they do show. Oh, they show it, and I'll talk about that. But that was pretty funny. Nice little jab. They introduced the show, and then afterwards... Alright, this is probably the biggest low point for the entire conference. And I know it was all in good fun, but I could tell no one was having fun except for people that really need to grow up, I guess. Rage 2. Now look, remember when I said the battery might die? It just died. Well, by just died, I mean it died a while ago, and what you're seeing is me recording after it died. Anyway, Rage 2 is the first thing they showed off, and god damn. I mean, look, I know some people enjoyed it simply because it was cringy, but I'm not the biggest fan of cringe. I mean, for Ubisoft it's fine because they're a shit company, but I don't know, maybe it was just a bit too much for me. I mean, they pretty much got this, by all means, intentionally bad band. I'm not sure if they're actually a good band in actuality and they were just pretending to be bad, which is very possible. I mean, but god damn, I'm sorry if I don't know who they are. I know some people actually... they knew who they were. I'm not entirely certain on who they are. I'm sorry if I come at this with a state of ignorance. Maybe this is who they are. Maybe this is what they do. But god damn it. They sang, Just Get Ready to Die. Which, I was laughing, but I wasn't laughing with them. I was laughing at them. And that's not really something I want to do at an E3 press conference. Especially when you're announcing a game. And I saw the audience members too. Like, the camera was zooming in on a bunch of audience members and showing off, like, their reactions. And there were some that were bopping their heads to it in a funny way. But others were just like, what the fuck is this shit? Like, they just had this reaction of pure confusion, disgust, anger, rage. They wanted to hear blood-curdling screams. They wanted to commit mass genocide on a grand scale, and fucking... Okay, maybe not that bad. Okay, I don't know why I just went into that really dark territory. No, they didn't want to cause mass genocide. God, I hope not. No, in reality, I just saw a bunch of reactions that were just like, what the fuck is this shit? And it was just like, yeah, that was kind of my reaction. I was like, what the hell is this? So yeah, that was... Here's some footage of it if you want. find it kind of funny, I find it kind of sad. The dreams in which I'm dying are the best I've ever. Hopefully I remember to put it in this time. So that was certainly interesting. As for gameplay, I have no comment. I mean, Rage is... I mean, it says Rage 2. I'm sure there was a Rage 1. I'm sure people enjoyed it, and... I mean, it has to get a sequel because people enjoy it, right? I mean, I hope. So, I mean, after all, Knack 1 was a really, really amazing title, and that's why it got a sequel, right? Really? Yeah, see? So, clearly it got a sequel for that reason. Joking aside, I'm sure it will probably be a fine game, but I've personally never played Rage, so I don't really know anything about it. In fact, just coming into this, I should warn you, a lot of these games, I have a big state of ignorance. I know about a few of them, and I know a lot about them. I even know people who enjoy some of these games, and that's fine, but I may not come at them with a state of, oh yeah, I'm really excited, but it's not because, it's not out of any malice. It's more like I've never played these franchises or experimented with them, so I apologize in advance if that ticks you off, if I just kind of breeze through something. Like, I know there's one big announcement at the end that I know a lot of people are just up in arms about, saying, yeah, this is amazing! Like, it's probably up there with, like, the Final Fantasy VII Remake or Kingdom Hearts 3. It's probably their Kingdom Hearts 3. Or maybe it's another Kingdom Hearts 3. Maybe they're a fan of both franchises. I mean, that's possible. And that's fine. I'm not, like... Alright, fuck it, I'll just spoil it. Elder Scrolls 6. This was the last thing they showed off. I don't have any attachment to Skyrim or to whatever other Elder Scrolls games there. I know there are more than just Skyrim. I know Skyrim is the 5th one. It's just, I personally have had no attachment to it. But you know, I'm happy it's finally actually a thing. I said it was never going to be a thing. I was joking about it, but clearly I was proven wrong. And hey, if that is how we get other games, then Final Fantasy VII's Part 1 remake will not come out for the PS4. There, now I'm sure we'll see something from Square in a few days. Probably not. But with that said, moving on, since I pretty much spoiled the ending. Afterwards we had, let's actually get past Elder Scrolls and Fallout stuff, since that's pretty much a lot of the conference, especially Fallout. There's Elder Scrolls Legends, which is a card game. I don't know what that's about, but I mean, if it's good, alright then. There's some new content for paper. There's some new content for Elder Scrolls Online, which is fine. I kind of expected that. Apparently they have a few more things as well coming out for it besides the expansion, which is, you know, again, fine. There was Skyrim on Alexa in your refrigerator, and they showed a joke where they had a paper. Shut up. Because obviously paper can talk. They had a joke trailer where they showed Skyrim on, like, coming to everything, because that's something that has been joked amongst the community for a while, is that Skyrim is on literally fucking everything. It'll be on this file cabinet right here. It'll be on my toaster that's like staring right in front of me, but you can't see it because you're looking at game footage most likely. I'm not sure what game footage. I haven't edited this yet. But yeah, like the point is, Skyrim has literally been on everything, and that was the joke of the trailer. I'm not going to show it here for fear of copyright, but I thought it was pretty funny. So, you know, the humor of the conference as a whole, actually, if I could just get on that for a minute. Some of it was funny. I did laugh at a bit of it. Sometimes not for the best reasons, like I said with Rage 2. I thought that was a bit too cringy for me. I was just like, what the hell is this shit? But that trailer was actually pretty funny. I'm happy they showed that. And there was a bit of other parts, you know, where I legitimately laughed. But overall, there was a bit too much hip game developers having that gamer lingo that is popular. Like they're trying to be hip and cool with the gamer crowd, and it's just like, Guys, stop. Like, I understand you're trying to be cool, but that's the problem. They're trying to be cool, and it doesn't work. Sometimes it's funny. Like, when you lampshade yourself, that's funny. Cause, yeah, Skyrim is on literally fucking everything. It's probably gonna be on your fucking... It's probably gonna be on the fucking N-Gage. But, you know, at the same time, it's... Sometimes they were trying a bit too hard to be funny with that hip gamer lingo, and it just came off as cringe-inducing. So, you know, some of the humor hit, some of it didn't. I know that some of the reactions were less than stellar, but... You know, that's just my thing. The trailer, though, for Skyrim being on your fucking refrigerator, that got me. That was funny. As for actual Skyrim stuff, or Elder Scrolls stuff, I should say, there's apparently Elder Scrolls Blades, which is apparently a mobile game that is going to have... It's going to try and be a console game on a mobile game, and... I mean, it looks impressive, but how much battery and memory is that going to eat up? Because my phone can barely run Pokemon Go as it is. I mean, I'm not sure how it'll handle that game, Blades. I hear Skyrim so often, I just want to say Skyrim, but no, it's not actually the name of the franchise. Was I the only one who thought that at first, when I first saw Skyrim? Like, fucking everywhere? But... You know, whatever. But yeah, so Blades is a thing. It looks way too taxing on my phone, but who knows? Maybe it'll turn out good. I don't know how good that'll actually be. We'll see. But it's ambitious, to say the least. I've got to give credit where credit is due. And then, of course, there's the one I just said, Elder Scrolls 6, which... will probably come to PS5, PS7, sometime. It's gonna be a while, obviously. They essentially showed the equivalent of a Metroid Prime 4 teaser, where they just showed the logo, and I know it's a work-in-progress logo, because they don't even have a title for it, like Skyrim was for the 5th game. I forget what the 4th one was. I know there was... I think it was Oblivion? I'm probably wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong. I believe it was Oblivion, but if it's Oblivion, that was the 4th game's title, which, you know. But yeah, Elder Scrolls 6. It's a game that people have wanted. It's probably on the same caliber as you know, Final Fantasy VII's remake, Kingdom Hearts 3, and good to know that Bethesda was paying attention, and they are, at this point, starting development on it officially. So, you know, we'll see what happens. I'm sure it'll be something. But yeah, anyway, as for other stuff, which means paper has to not move again. So anyway, getting past the Fallout stuff, since there's actually a lot of Fallout stuff. Fallout Shelter, which I'm not entirely sure what that is. I think it's a mobile game. I'm sorry if I'm wrong about that. It's apparently coming to PS4 and Switch, which... Okay. Alright then. Paper, stop moving. There's Fallout 76, which is... It's like a multiplayer, online-only kind of game. You can play it solo, but it's much better when you have friends gathered around you. It's very similar to that Zelda game, that, you know, the... What, Three Swords? I know it's not called that, but Triforce Heroes, that's what it's called. And Metroid Prime Prime Hunters, or not Prime Hunters, God, what was it? Federation Force. I've already forgotten the name. I wonder why. But yeah, it's like Federation Force and Triforce Heroes, those two games. It's sort of like those... where you can play it solo, but it's much better with multiplayer, I'm sure. A lot of people have been on a fence about it, but personally, I don't really see why. Don't you have Fallout 4 for your Fallout game? Don't you have, like, Fallout New Vegas and Fallout 3? they're trying to do something different with this one. It's not like this is Fallout 5. No, this is not Fallout 5. This is, you have Fallout 4 and 3 and New Vegas. So I don't really see what the problem is. I don't know. Maybe there is a problem. Personally, I'm kind of getting sick of people bitching about not having a decent single-player mode. Look, I understand single-player is important, but if a game wants to be a co-op multiplayer-only game or an online-only game, I mean, online-only you can make a bit of an argument for. What if people don't have online? You see, that's an argument. But if it just wants to be a simple co-op game, I say let it. I mean, you know, now online only, that I know some people have been bitching about, because you have to be online. It is only a game, like one game, not many games. Personally, I think because you have Fallout 4, I don't really think it's too big of a deal. I see why some people are concerned. See, this isn't like the Xbox One where you had to be always online before they scrapped it very quickly, and good on them for doing that. Man, that was years ago. That was like 5 years ago. But, yeah, you know, the point is, I'd say it's okay just for this one game. It's not like it's the first time they've done it. You have to remember that just because, you know, you have to remember that a lot of people do have online capabilities now. Yes, there are lots of places, even in America, that are that have just as good of online as the Sahara Desert. I get that, but that's not everyone. So, you know, you have your local play game, and that's Fallout 4. You have your local play game, that's Fallout 4. And now there's an always online one, Fallout 76. As far as I know, it seems to be an open world survival game with co-op and friends in an apocalyptic America. You know? Pretty much all there is. I'm not really too well versed in the Fallout mythos, so I don't really know too much about it. I'm sorry if I'm coming at this with a state of ignorance. Maybe it is a worse deal than I thought. I don't know, alright? I'll admit, I don't know much. My problem with the showcasing of it is that it went on way too long. It got to a point where I actually skipped the last part of it, because I was just like, okay, guys, come on, please, move on. Yeah, I understand Fallout is a big deal, but I'm not... I don't know, I feel like they went on a bit too long about it, especially compared to some of the other games they could have spent more time on. So, next time, shorten it a bit. Like, I thought what they showed was fine, but I felt they went on a bit too long. And there were some fun moments. There were some funny, cute animations with the, you know, the blondie and the blue jacket thing, outfit, whatever it is. I don't know what that is. I'm sorry. God, there's probably Fallout fans who are watching this, who just watch this, like, oh, God, does this guy know anything about what's been going on? Probably sound like an old man who doesn't know what the latest fashion sense is. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. From the deepest pits of my soul, I am so sorry. Alright, so I just felt it went on a bit too long. That's just what I think. I felt that they were over-explaining it, but at the same time, maybe some people enjoy that. Maybe this is what they always do. I don't know. All I know is I wasn't really a fan of how long they went on about it. As for, other things they showed off besides Fallout and Elder Scrolls, that's pretty much it for Elder Scrolls. After they showed off Elder Scrolls Online, they showed off Doom Eternal, which, again, I haven't played the first Doom. I know, I'm behind the times. I hear Doom is a great game. Good on it for getting a sequel. Apparently, all of the demons are now on Earth, and they are tearing up shit. This is not the first time it's happened, I believe, in Doom as well, so... But hey, you know, I believe Doom 2 was the one that did it first, like, the actual Doom 2. So it's neat. Yeah, I'm sure it'll be a good game. They try and make it as good as the first one, if not better, then I'm sure they will succeed. Anyway, Quake Champions, which... Alright, I'm probably gonna sound really fucking old. I thought this was already out. I thought, just like with We Happy Few, I've seen this at so many E3s and conferences, I thought it was already out. I have not been keeping up with Quake. Apparently it's doing really well at esports. So I thought it was just already out, but no, it's not, so... Sorry. They apparently, I believe, have a demo for it, like a free access demo that you could download from the 14th to the 17th. At this point, it is no longer available, but if you downloaded it, I believe you can play it until the actual release, just not online. So yay, I won't be downloading it, but it's cool that it has that. There's also Prey, which is actually a game that is out. It is getting an update, some DLC, and some other things, which, they showed it off. The trailer for it, where the people who were being interviewed on the video, they were showing off more about it. That was pretty funny. I didn't get the whole I'm not a mimic thing. I'm going to assume that is a Prey thing, and I didn't understand it. But hey, if it is something from Prey, then I guess it was funny in concept. I thought the actual trailer for it, where the developers were on camera at their studio, and then the monster pops up, I thought that was pretty cool. That was actually well done. That actually got me. It didn't, like, jump scare me, but I thought it was pretty fun the way they did it. They seemed like they were having a good time. Wolfenstein 2, I believe they showed off, as well as Wolfenstein VR, which I don't give a shit about VR, and I've never played Wolfenstein 1, but hey, they showed it off because they have to, so alright, I'm sure it's a good idea to show it off. And afterwards, they also showed off they're making a new game, a new franchise, which is interesting. It off before Elder Scrolls 6, which I actually found pretty funny. It was kind of like a gotcha moment. I mean, I don't know if it was meant to be built up as one, but I felt it was kind of a gotcha moment where we have a few things that are coming off, that we're bringing out in years to come, and then they show off this new IP that no one asked for, and then, oh yeah, here's Elder Scrolls 6, so that was funny. But, Starfield, we don't really see anything about it, but apparently it's going to be a sci-fi space adventure game, which, I mean, it might be Skyrim with, Skyrim in space. You know what? I want that. I will buy it day one if it is that. But yeah, so I don't know what that's about, but hey, they're making a new IP. It's good to know it exists. I do have to say, Bethesda, even though I don't like everything they do in terms of game development, they did seem very earnest here. I felt like there was an earnest effort to really reach out to gamers, not necessarily to be hip and cool, even though at times they tried that and it didn't work, but I really felt like they do, at least to a certain point, understand that what gamers want. I don't think they always get it right, but I do appreciate that they seem like they're being honest about it, even if they aren't, because they are a business. I mean, businesses are never fully honest, let's be honest here. But I did feel there was a sense of earnesty and effort placed into this conference, which is good. I appreciate that. I think more conferences really need to do that. It really feels like they're trying to listen to people, even if they don't get it right. But hey, as long as people keep calling them out for it, I'm sure they'll get it right eventually. And from what I hear about Bethesda, they have. I mean, how many successes have they had in the past generations? They've had Skyrim, they've had Fallout 4, which I know some people bitch about, but I hear overall it's a decent game. Doom, I hear, was a massive success. Doom, I hear, is phenomenal. And I even hear, like, people who, I hear all the time about how Doom is amazing and how I should play it. And, as sick as I am of hearing that, I will admit, Doom did look really good when I, saw footage of it. And it's a good thing they're getting a sequel. I know the sequel was only CGI. I mean, the first Doom. I saw footage of that a lot. But, yeah. So, overall, I would give Bethesda a B-. I felt they went a bit too long with Fallout 76. I felt like they could have given some more time to some of the other games. And I felt that the Rage 2 stuff was a bit too cringy for me. Maybe I don't get the joke. Maybe I do. I don't know. And there was a bit of annoying lingo. That's not funny. But overall, I thought their conference was overall pretty good. Most of the games generally got decent amount of screen time, and the ones that didn't are clearly early in development, which is fine. I felt there was a sense of earnesty and honesty in the conference that I didn't really get from other people. Like, even Sony and Nintendo, well, more Sony, I would say. Nintendo, I usually feel is earnest, even if they're not exactly on the right track. Bethesda, I feel like it did a pretty good job this year. I hear their conferences, bar in mind, I believe last year were pretty good. Like 2014 and 2015 were really good, apparently. And then 2016 is where they kind of bombed. That was when they just did their whole Nintendo Direct showcase. But yeah, I would say their conference was pretty good. I would probably go out and say they were the second best. They were the runners-up. Which is not bad. Granted, there wasn't much competition, I mean, let's be honest here, but I truly thought their conference was decent, and even though I'm not interested in what they're making personally, I'm not really the most interested in what they're having just because I'm not a fan of these series, I haven't really played any of them, what they showed off was good. And I'm genuinely happy for some of the stuff that was announced, because, you know, it just means there are more sequels and more games. You know, Elder Scrolls 6. People love Elder Scrolls. Yay! Who knows? Maybe even the phone game they showed off, which... Alright, I'll probably going to be a Demi-Downer here. I don't see the point in having phone games in a conference. Maybe I'm just old or stupid, but I don't... I don't know. I never like it when they show off phone games in a conference, but... I mean, at least they showed it off, and that was it. I didn't really feel like they spent too much time on it, which is fine. So, I don't know. I mean, hey, they did a better job showing it off than what EA did with, with their phone game. What is it? Command and Conquer, I believe it was called. Ugh, that was... They showed it off, they showed what they wanted to show, and at least it was something new and actually kind of ambitious, so... I don't know. I'm still not a fan of how that they showed it off, but I guess you could do worse. But whatever, oh, you know, minor gripes aside, and they really are minor. Even the Fallout 76 thing, really the worst part of the conference was the very beginning with Rage. But once that happened, the conference was pretty much smooth sailing, and it was at a decent time and pace, too. So overall, I would say Bethesda, as a company I'm not really interested in, probably gets a B- to a B. You know, B if I'm generous, B- for the most part. Probably should just say B-. Yeah, B-. I'm having a bad day, even though the day's just started. It's like 7 a.m. by the time I'm recording this. I am the Seaman235, signing out, and I shall see you again for the Big 3 podcast thingamawhatsit, when I shit all over Nintendo and Sony and actually give a lot of praise to Microsoft, which is something I thought I would never do, but I'm actually doing it.